There's a life out here for you that has already been ordained, that has already been written. And the only thing that's keeping you from that life is you. You have so many blocks to your abundance. You have so many blocks to the opening that is required in order for you to bring in the things that you want to bring in. It's a complete disheveling of all of the things that you've been doing up to this point that haven't worked for you. It's looking at yourself and taking charge over your life. It's understanding that the work that has to be done to birth the things that you want to see in your outer world first starts within. It's a lot of cleanup that we have to do. But welcome to Butterfly Transformations. I am Tanisha Ali, and I am a butterfly in transformation just like you. I'm here to help you to gain clarity, to uplevel your mindset, and to manifest the glory of God that is within you, that is you, through a process of gaining clarity over what is governing your life and helping you to heal and clear emotional blockages. Today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, actually. It really is. I've been working at this for so long, and my life has transformed as a result of me embracing a prosperity consciousness, an abundance mindset, and really mastering certain principles that govern our third dimensional reality. And the better I become at doing that, the greater the slice of life is that I'm partaking of. So I want the same thing for you, and that's why I want to talk about this today. Shout out to Natalie, who asked for this video. I have a few more videos on the channel from way back when. Maybe I'll start doing some throwback Thursdays. But I talk about this topic, and I want to get into it more today, a little bit more in depth than I have in the past. But I also will link those past videos for you in case you want to have a look. If this looks like a topic that you're interested in, what is blocking your abundance, or what are the things that you need to know in order to live abundantly, I'm going to list somewhere upwards of, I think, maybe 15 or 18 things I need to get myself together. But we're going to talk about it today. If this is something that you are really interested in, make sure you stick around for the video. I would like to do an oracle card pull right towards the end. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you have found your tribe. If you're looking at me today, then this video is definitely for you. And if you are coming back for more, you know, home is the sweetest place to be. You're my home and I'm your home, so welcome. All right, stick around for the video. So today, to dig in, the first thing that you need to understand to open up the world of abundance to you is you need to really understand who you are. If you understand who you really are, like at the deepest depths of your soul, at your core, you won't allow people to mistreat you. You can open up to all of the riches that are yours by your divine birthright. You won't accept less for yourself in life, and you will dream big because you know who you are. And who are you? You are a divine being of light. At the very quantum level, you are a being of light, all right? At the minutia of the physical level, you have photons of light coursing through you. You have a crystalline structure. It is so important for you to understand that you are of God, that you are an expression of God. If you understand that, then you understand your greatness. And you have to know, like everything else that is in this beautiful universe, the trees, the grass, the animals, the flowers, everything else that's buzzing alive with an animating force coursing through its entire being, you have to know that you are as great as the cosmos, that you are the cosmos, that you have the same things in your makeup as the cosmos and as every other thing that is magnificent in this creation that you admire. When you understand who you really are, and you understand that this physical body is just your meat suit, and that you're traveling through this world at your core with something far greater than that, that your soul essence, that your spirit, that all of that is the greater part of who you are, and you're just here to have an adventure and to learn to come to know that very thing so that you can live large, then your whole world changes, believe me. The second thing that is so critical that a lot of people miss is they think they can just kind of go about in this world living at a very baseline level, living in their physical reality and just going through the motions, working hard, putting in a lot of effort to accomplish things. And you can do that. You can work hard, you can save money, you can work smart, you can do all of these things, but those things are working at the level of matter. Those things don't take into account that there's an entire other essence that belies this physical reality that is responsible for what you see before you. That it is the stuff that is within you in terms of your energy, your emotion, your thoughts, your beliefs. All of those things conspire to create the limitations in your life. And if you don't get a handle on what that stuff is, then you don't get a handle on how to best live your life and get the most from life. And all of that requires an understanding of the spiritual and energetic principles that belie this physical reality, the spiritual and energetic principles that govern this universe, that are law. And so if you don't understand that, for example, if you don't understand that what you put out there is what you're going to get back. You've heard your parents say all the time when you were growing up, you know, the more you put into life, the more you get out of life. Well, that's the law of karma, essentially. What you put out there will come back to you. The chickens will no doubt come home to roost no matter what you are doing, and no matter what chickens you sent out, how you sent them out, what your intentions were, is coming back to you. So anything that you put out there in the way of positive energy, in the way of anything that you put out there in the way of goodwill, in the way of hard work, in the way of efforting, in the way of positive intention, that stuff is coming right back to you. You actually create the outcome when you set the intention. The energy in which the intention is born is what creates the outcome, literally. So understanding that principle, understanding the other physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional practices that come together to help you align with those spiritual and energetic principles makes things so much easier. And there are so many of them, but let's take, for example, the law of least effort. The law of least effort states that when you push up against or you resist against the natural order and the harmony of the universe, when you go against that, then you cannot win. You cannot with ease accomplish what you want to accomplish, and whatever it is that you get by force is not going to stay with you. Things will flow to you, whether it be information, whether it be divine guidance, blessings, money, relationships, whatever. These things flow to you in a way that is very natural. And through the law of least effort, if you begin to understand how to work those principles and what working those principles looks and feels like in a very practical sense, then you begin to understand that the way to get what you want is to be in a relaxed state, to be in a light state energetically, and to have a certain level of trust and to operate out of flow and fluidity in life. So understanding these spiritual and energetic principles, or failure to understand them, let me say, is going to be a major block to abundance. Really, seriously. The third thing has to do with your belief systems. The stuff that you operate out of that makes your life have meaning. We do things, we take actions, we live a certain way based solely on the beliefs that we have. And those beliefs that we have, while they can be confirmed through our experiences, because really the beliefs are going to dictate the experiences. But when they become confirmed by our experiences, we then think that the belief system has validity and legitimacy, without understanding that it is the belief system that gives rise to the experience instead of the other way around. And a lot of these belief systems we've been given and handed to us by other people, and as a result, those things have structured our world, and they have created a certain parameter in which we operate out of, or a certain parameter or limitation or glass ceiling. And so it becomes imperative on us to really examine, what are my belief systems? What do I really believe about what's possible in life? How far do I feel I can actually go in life? Do I feel I need to have a 4-year degree in order to be successful in life? How do I feel about money? What kind of relationship do I have with money? How do I really feel about relationships? Do I believe that I can have a happily ever after, or do I believe that's a fantasy? Something that I've been deluded by. Really understanding how your belief systems, what you think, how you believe about things, that you were not really given those things, or you were not inspired at an organic level to create those things for yourself, but instead they were given to you by people who raised you, by the people you came in contact with through your religious institution, your church, your pastor, your imam. Maybe it was the teacher's beliefs in the 5th grade classroom who told you you're never going to be good in math, so you gave up in math. That became a belief system that you bought into. Maybe someone told you that you were fat, you were ugly, and you were never going to be anything. And they told you that at an impressionable age, and you embraced that and you believed it. And so your entire world was colored by that. That's the most important thing to take away from this, is that your world is colored by what it is you believe. So if you don't examine what you believe and start to change your belief systems, you're going to be in trouble. And the higher that you get on this ascension towards manifesting your masterpiece. By the way, here's the book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece. We talk about a lot of these things in the book. You can get it on Amazon. But the more that you ascend in this process, the more that you realize that your belief systems have to continually begin to shift to allow in more light. All right. We live in a darkness of ignorance. And I use the word darkness as a metaphor, but we live in a place where we don't always let in the greatest amount of light that is intended to come in. And until we are open to letting that light in, that light cannot come in. And as long as it doesn't come in, we're confined in a box in these 4 walls, and we can't see what's outside of the 4 walls, and we can't think outside of the box. So we're limited to all of the things that we've been told by society. We're limited by what the brain is processing, and the brain is processing only that which you put into it or what somebody else puts into it. So if you're not governing what is being put into your brain and what you're absorbing, or you're living unconsciously and you're unaware about what it is that's actually in there that's governing your physical reality, you're going to be at a huge loss. Number 4, living in fear. Living in fear, being afraid to confront not only your demons and the things that you're afraid of, but being afraid to take the courage to validate what it is that you want by taking a step forward. Being afraid of change, being afraid of failure. All of these kinds of fears represent a low vibrational energy that keep you stuck, and they are huge blocks to abundance. You can tell what it feels like when you fear something. Okay? When you fear something, it paralyzes you and it keeps you stuck. And it takes on an unreal sense of power, which disempowers you until you confront the fear. So your abundance is always going to be on the other side of the fear and the things that you don't really want to step forward and do. So confronting the fears that you have, examining what they are as it relates to what you want from life, is a big thing that you must address. Fear is a huge block to abundance. Number 5 that I have on my list is living in scarcity. Scarcity is when we don't have enough. Things are scarce. When we live in scarcity, we have a not enough mindset. You feel that you don't have enough money. You feel that you don't have enough resources. When you think back to any economics or social studies class that you took very early in life, you learned about the scarcity of resources. Well, we live in an abundant universe where there's nothing that is scarce. So how the hell am I learning about everything is scarcity and that there's this competition for these limited amount of resources? And you grow up with that paradigm, with that belief system, and it functions unconsciously as a source of sabotage. So you begin to live in a world where nothing is enough. If you go to the store and you see something you like, you've got to get 10 of it because you might run out. If you are have a tree in your yard that is producing fruit, you're afraid to turn your back on that or to give something away because you feel like you may never have enough and you may run out. You may begin to feel that you are not enough. You will begin to feel that the world around you is full of things that are going to be depleted and that there will never be enough, including money. So you begin to approach life from a place of emptiness rather than from a place of fullness and completion, and rather than understanding the spiritual law that we live in an abundant universe that is always taking care of you and giving, that Mother Earth is a womb that enriches us and that is constantly giving. So when you approach things with a scarcity mindset, whether it's a relationship that you are in, a job that you're going to, resources that you need, a business that you're building, then you're approaching it from a losing perspective. You really don't think that you're going to win. You really don't think that it's possible. And so that is what becomes real to you. The energy of impossibility, the energy of lack, the energy of not having enough, okay? 6 is a block to abundance that's not really as obvious, but it's something that can block you from your abundance, and that is a lack of self-validation. In order to pursue a life of prosperity, in order to embrace an abundance mindset, you have to be a self-validating person. You cannot be the kind of person that waits on other people to give you the go-ahead, or waits on other people to think for you, or wait on other people to cheer you on, or to validate you and to let you know that you're on the right track. You have to understand principle number 1 that we discussed, which you have to believe in who you are. And when you believe in who you are and you know who you are, then it gives you an inherent confidence that you're allowed to reconnect with, that is at your core. When you understand who you are, what you're about, and where you've come from, then what that allows you to do is to move in confidence and to move without needing other people to say, oh, okay, you're doing a good job, or, oh, yeah, you can do that. No, 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 no. When you validate yourself, you move with confidence, with conviction, and you are very resolute, which means you align with the energy of certainty and expectation, which means that you align with the surety that the universe guarantees you. The sun is going to come up every day. The weeds are going to continue to grow. The grass is going to be plentiful. You can expect that. You can expect the same from you in terms of success when you align with, I'm looking at Albie out the window. I forgot I left the back door open. When you align with these principles, it's very, very important, okay? The next thing is when you feel disconnected from your life purpose, when you are not on your soul's mission, abundance is going to be blocked from you. You must understand what it is that is in the heart of your soul, or that is the soul of your heart, in order to really live an abundant life. It's free energy. It's free energizing. Okay, it allows you to be in harmony with all that is. When you are also on your life purpose, or you're pursuing your soul's mission, there's nothing but abundance on the other side of that equation. Abundance in terms of peace, abundance in terms of finances, abundance in terms of relationships, abundance in terms of health. When you are doing what you came here to do, you will be abundant. It is law. It is just that simple. You have a purpose. You might as well fulfill that purpose in tandem with the adventure of life. So not knowing your purpose, or not having a sense of it, or not aligning with it, if you do know it, is going to be a major block to your abundance. Next, negative emotion. Negative emotion is something that allows you to draw more negative experiences towards you. Every time you get upset, every time you judge someone in anger, every time you possess an emotion such as anger, fearfulness, boredom even is considered a negative emotion, because to me, boredom is like a state of ingratitude. How can you possibly be bored? Stillness is different from boredom, but boredom is saying, I don't have enough. That's what boredom is saying. So negative emotions, resentment, jealousy, all of these things cause your world to contract. They cause you to focus on something that is unpleasant, which draws more unpleasantries your way. It is so important to rid your life of people, things, places, and situations that nurture negative emotion within you, and to get on top of, in a very conscious and mindful way, what kind of thoughts you are having and what you're affirming on a day-to-day basis so that you can separate yourself from emotion. Number 9 is failing to trust your intuition. Intuition is a huge part of how spirit draws us towards abundant opportunities and things that are destined for us as we fulfill our soul's path or our soul's mission. It's very important to open up yourself to the different ways that the beauty of life unfold and send messages to you through abundance, through synchronicities, through symbology. All of the ways that spirit or God, or however you want to refer to this force field of infinity that connects and conjoins all of being, all of that is available to you, but it has to find a way in order to lead you in the direction that you need to go in, by bringing people into your life, by making you privy to messages that you need to be aware of, by helping you to see certain things, by helping you to connect the dots, okay? We're not living, other dimensions are not confined to the language that we speak. We live in a world where we communicate energetically. And in order for you to be open to receive this guidance and these messages, you have to trust your intuition, and you have to be someone that uses your intuition. So someone who has their abundance blocked, you will find that person is not very intuitive. That person relies on other means in order to navigate the world, and such are at a loss. Number 10 is going to be dream killing energies. This is a very important one. Dream killing energies are energies around you that sap your joy for life, your zest for life. They abuse you as a resource. They take from you and don't give. They don't support you. They don't give back. Dream killing energies are anything in your life that you are nurturing that is not for your highest good. Oftentimes, dream-killing energies come disguised as the people that are closest to us or the people that we think we love. I don't believe that we can really truly love dream-killing energies. I just don't believe that. I believe we can have a sick definition of what love actually is, but something that hurts you or something that degrades you or something that separates you from your spirit or keeps you from your soul's mission and does not empower you can't possibly be something that you love. It is something that you have an attachment to. It is something that has become a bad habit, but love cannot flower. Not true love cannot flower in barren ground. It is very infertile. So dream-killing energies need to be removed from your life because they block your abundance. Next thing that blocks your abundance is a victim mentality. A victim mentality can besiege us when we blame other people, when we don't take responsibility for our actions, when we put the responsibility and accountability for the things that we create in our lives on other people. People that have a victim mentality seldom accept they're wrong in a situation. People that have a victim mentality wait for someone else to come in and save them. People who have a victim mentality are not resilient. They're not self-starters, and they never take responsibility for what they have already created. They are masters of self-sabotage, but the interesting dynamic is they don't realize that most of what they do is sabotaging the very thing that they say they want. People who have a victim mentality never rise above their circumstances. They become their circumstances, and then they don't take responsibility for the fact that they've created their circumstances, okay? Number 12, the inability to control your energy, meaning the inability to determine who gets your energy, the inability to manage yourself. You have to be someone who is an expert or a master manager of your energy on a moment-to-moment, very conscious, mindful, and intentional basis every single day. If you do not manage your mind, it will manage you. If you do not manage your life, it will manage you. If you work in a classroom and you do not manage the children, you don't have a classroom management program, the children are going to manage you. that is the way you have to be when it comes to your energy. You have to be vigilant. You have to know how much energy to give to something. You have to know when something is pulling energy away from you. You have to be able to maintain a vibration, an energetic frequency that allows you to attract the things in your life that you want to attract. In short, nothing is free in this universe in the sense that we think of having to put some effort in order to receive something back. Life is a mirror of what we are putting out. If you want more, you have to do more. Do more in the sense of maintaining your energetic equilibrium. As I mentioned, knowing when you're getting to a place where you're not going to be manifesting the things that you want because of the thoughts that you're having, the way that you're feeling, the energy that you're putting out, the energy that you're allowing yourself to be bombarded with. So maintaining your energy at the frequency of abundance and prosperity is a full-time job, and it is something that you have to be on top of in every moment, because if not, the monkey mind, the ego, the personality, everything outside of you will cause you to give your power over to it, and before you know it, you will be in a vacuum of restriction, a vacuum of limitation, a vacuum of contraction. So learning how to manage your energy and understanding what that feels like is going to be the easiest way to tap into that. When you feel good and you feel energized and you feel on top of the world, your vibration is matching that. All right. And you are going to begin to draw experiences to you that are aligned with that. When you don't feel good, 9 times out of 10, you have negative thoughts, you have other things that are sabotaging you, your energy is going to be low, you're not going to feel good, you're going to see the world behind a filter that is a very negative filter, and as such you will manifest accordingly. All right. Feelings of low self-worth. I'm going to say that this could be number 2 or 3. Feelings of low self-worth are generally the number 1 thing that block abundance. If you think about abundance as having a loving relationship, then you have to understand that if you don't have a level of self-worth, then you're going to attract someone who's not going to value you. I see this so often in the work that I do with so many of the women that I deal with, and the men too, believe it or not. You see situations where people want something out of life and they want certain value in a relationship, but they put up with everything else except that. They don't reward value by choosing partners who value them. And that's because they don't value themselves. They instead choose partners who devalue them, who degrade them, who demean them, who de-energize them, ultimately partners who devolve them. So regardless of what it is you're trying to manifest, if you don't think that you are worthy of a 6-figure or $1 million or $1 billion salary, you will never be able to draw that into your life. It is just that simple. You have to feel full and complete in order to attract those things that are associated with fullness and completion. All right. It's so important that you have value for yourself, that you have a sense of self-worth, that your self-esteem reflects who you really are, not how you might be showing up in the world, which really you can't show up in the world in any way that's too different from how you feel about yourself, but who you may seem like for all intents and purposes in the world. That is your ego image, that's your personality, that's your outer reflection to the world, okay, that people form conclusions about and that they draw inferences from. But who you really are needs to be reflective of the fact that you understand your divinity, the fact that you understand that you are a divine being of light, that you're no less than the stars, that you're no less than the planet, that you are in fact an expression of the Creator. When you understand that, it's kind of hard to get up every day in a funk. It's kind of hard to be ungrateful. It's kind of hard to be in a victim mentality and not accept responsibility for what you're creating every day. When you understand who you really are, it's your job to get in the driver's seat and to figure out how you can manifest the glory of God that is within you. Okay? Number 14, okay, says being able to identify how you live unconsciously and sabotage your efforts. We kind of covered that to some degree, but one of the blockages is not being able to live consciously, not being able to ascertain or pinpoint how you're living unconsciously, how things in your life are on autopilot and you're not really in the driver's seat. And what is happening in your life is due to a lack of you taking control of a situation. Let's say, for example, you're going to a job every day you hate. You're just doing it unconsciously. You've given up your power. How can you possibly manifest abundance? Abundance is a sense of empowerment. Abundance really is, I have control over my life that gives me peace. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm a part of a very living, animating, energetic force that is allowing me to co-create my reality and bring certain things into my world that I could not do unless I took charge of my life and I had a certain mindset. That's what abundance is. So when you are living unconsciously and you don't know what is running your life, you can't possibly be abundant. If you can't assess why you're not happy and change it, if you cannot set goals and begin to achieve them and not make excuses, when you're living unconsciously, you have very little awareness of what is going on around you. You pretty much live at the survival level, and abundance is never going to be at the survival level. The survival level is the job level. It's just over broke. And I'm using that as a metaphor, not as something to define the work that you do. When you are living at the unconscious level, things are happening to you and you are responding instead of you realizing that the things that are happening to you are happening because of you. That is very, very important. Next, relaxation. Being able to relax and get into the flow of life. Being able to relax and feel the flow of life is a major tool on your journey to abundance. If you have difficulty relaxing, if you have difficulty allowing the flow of life to come through you and to happen through you, and you're constantly in resistance to things, you're constantly banging your head up against the wall, you're constantly experiencing difficulty because you think that something is happening outside of you that you need to respond to, instead of recognizing that the world is showing itself to you as a reflection of your internal state. So when you live that way, you are constantly going to be uptight because you're going to think that you can control you're going to be responding to and trying to control the things that you feel that are happening to you, instead of realizing that the empowerment is on the other side of that. And when we're most empowered, we are moving with the flow of life, and we're understanding that there is a destiny to this thing, and we just need to get in where we fit in, and we need to learn to relax and respond to life from a place of creativity. When you start responding to life from a place of creativity, you're going to have to be in the flow of life. And the more in the flow of life you are, the more you will relax, the more that you will be very easygoing, the more that you won't be taking issue with everything that's going on around you, the more that you'll be able to maintain a state of inner peace regardless of what is going on around you. And when you get to that place, and you can be in that place on more of a full-time basis rather than less than a part-time basis, you're going to start to see everything in your life starts to shift. Again, through the law of least effort, things materialize. Life is ease. You don't see the sun struggling to rise every day. You don't see the grass struggling to grow. You don't see all of creation, whether we're talking about the weeds or the blossoms on the flowers, having a difficult time happening. No, it just does what it does. And we too are supposed to be the same way. We are no less a part of this creation. We have more knowledge, and to whom much is given, much is required. And we have consciousness, but a lot of us are not using that consciousness in the way that we need to. Next on the list is, wow, I'm at number 16. So I have 18, ingratitude. Like I talked about before, boredom, but a lot of things are ingratitude, not taking stock of your blessings. This could be number 3, if not number 2. Gratitude is going to be the single most potent thing that you can do to get the greatest bang for your buck when you're manifesting abundance into your life. It is so important to be grateful for what you have. You know how we dwell on things when they don't go our way, or so we think? We can drag out the disappointment throughout the whole day. It can ruin our dinner. We can wake up the next morning belaboring the same point. We can talk about it a year later. When good things happen to us, the fact that you have eyes that you can see out of, the fact that I can look out this window and see all of this beautiful greenery, the fact that I have that lovely dog out there who is loyal to a fault, the fact that I have beauty all around me, the fact that I have health, the fact that I have food in my refrigerator, the fact that I have a thriving business, the fact that I have a mindset and a mentality that allows me to take stock of that. Those are all things that I have to be grateful for. The fact that I have saliva in my mouth to help me digest my food and keep my mouth moist and to keep down mouth odor. These are all things that I have to be grateful for. And you have an infinity of things to be grateful for. If you started counting them, you would never get to the end of that list. So an attitude of gratitude. You will find people who live in scarcity and who live in lack and who complain all the time and who find fault in everything that goes on around them. They are extremely ungrateful. They may say they're grateful, but they do not maintain a vibration of gratitude on a regular basis. And if you cannot be a good steward and a great custodian over what you've been given, you are not going to get more. Number 17, living in the past. And I always say living in the past is a source of all confusion. The past narratives that you've told yourself, the way that you have chosen to define those past narratives and continue to tell those tired old stories again and again and again is like shooting yourself in the foot every day you get up. Every day you get up, you identify with the past. You identify with something that happened yesterday. You identify with some old tired story where you were victimized or you were the victim or something didn't go your way. And guess what? You set your world in stone. You create a paradigm. You create a limiting perspective that you cannot get out of, that you cannot see your way out of. The past is the source of almost all confusion. It's the source of confusion, period. Yes, we can learn from the past. Yes, we may need to have something that we're privy to regarding the past, but to live in the past every day means you cannot live in the present. And as long as you're not living in the present, you're not going to manifest anything. You're going to continue to manifest and remanufacture and recycle and rebirth the same tired story that you lived before. Get out of the past, leave the past behind, stop blaming people for what you feel they did to you. Nobody did anything to you. Nobody did anything to the core of you, first of all, because you are not your body, you're not your thoughts. You're having an experience down here. We got to realize that every day that we get up is another day to leave some shit behind and to start all over again and to reconstruct our world. That's what the challenge is in this physical body. But no one has done anything to you that you were not fully participating in at a certain point in your life. We give over ourselves to an experience, whether it is an individual experience, a partner experience, or a collective experience. The past is a source of all confusion and you need to let it go. If you live there, how on earth can you create the beautiful present that you actually desire? And number 18 is another block to abundance, is not being able to feel inner contentment, not having a sense of contentment, which then lends itself to joy. The experience of joy and inner contentment, along with gratitude, along with trust in life as it unfolds and shows you signs through intuition and flow and relaxation, are like the top 4 things when it comes to manifesting money, comes to manifesting relationships, comes to manifesting peace within your home, your business going forward. All of those things happen as a complete package within this space of inner contentment, this space of gratitude, this space of I have everything already. I am full. I am already complete. The more you master that, the better off you're going to be, the more prosperous you're going to be. The more that you begin to get familiar with what it feels like to have inner contentment and joy, And the more you recognize the beauty of that feeling, and the more that you begin to be vigilant about doing the things that allow you to have that state of being, the more you're going to start to manifest and pull things towards you that are already for you. I think, you know, in closing, what I really want you to understand is that there's a life out here for you that has already been ordained, that has already been written. And the only thing that's keeping you from that life is you. You have so many blocks to your abundance. You have so many blocks to the opening that is required in order for you to bring in the things that you want to bring in. It's a complete disheveling of all of the things that you've been doing up to this point that haven't worked for you. It's looking at yourself and taking charge over your life. It's understanding that the work that has to be done to birth the things that you want to see in your outer world first starts within. It's a lot of cleanup that we have to do. But as you begin to clean up, the beauty and the grace and the mercy of this creation that God has given us to dwell in, it means that you get immediate feedback. It means that whatever you're doing, the universe, spirit, God, whatever, is going to give you a sign that you're on the right track. You're going to get validation almost immediately. Okay? The minute you start to do the inner cleanup that is required to manifest the outer things in your world that you're trying to manifest, you're going to see all manner of blessings come in from all manner of directions beyond your belief, because you are in fact way, way super duper powerful beyond measure. You're with Tunisia Ali. And again, if you have not purchased this book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, please step on out there. If you have a masterpiece that you're trying to manifest, my masterpiece is my life. Okay? If you have something that you're trying to manifest as a masterpiece in your life, some level that you're trying to get to, then you need to connect with that book and add it to your healing library and your positivity library and your prosperity consciousness library. I have enjoyed talking to you all. I know this video was long, but I kind of wanted to get these concepts into one video. I may do an abridged version of this video with some lesser number, but I thank you all for sticking around. Don't forget to like, give the video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And I'm supposed to be pulling a oracle card, right? So if you want to stick around for that, I'm going to grab a card real quick. I keep decks in various places, and my sunroom is to my right. And I have a deck out here with perhaps a message for whomever is sticking around to take a look at what I'm talking about. And I have a pot of beans on the stove, and they are smelling kind of, I have it on as low as my stove will go. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to enjoy these beans. I'm making a black bean soup, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to puree the black beans, and when I sit down to eat them, I'm going to add a little bit of green onions, some chives, some sour cream, some tomatoes, and some cheese. I can't wait. My mouth is salivating. I've been cooking them since yesterday. They're going to be delicious. Oh, and cilantro. The last two stores I went to didn't have cilantro. I'm wondering what is going on. Albie, I hear you over there, baby. Okay, so let's get you a message today. We're just going to discuss the energy of the card, okay? What's the message for whoever is sticking around to watch the end of this video? What is the message for them? I ask that this message land on whoever needs it and that it be relatable. All right, I'll say this card is making itself known. The Six of Pentacles. Ask and ye shall receive. This is about the laws of abundance. It's amazing we're talking about spiritual and energetic principles, because this is about giving and receiving, but this is also about the cycle of life. It's also about what you are putting out, you should receive back, okay? But it works both ways. If you're putting out junk, you're going to get junk. If you're allowing someone to mistreat you, they're going to give you back that treatment. That's based on how you feel about yourself. So recognize the interconnectedness and the spiritual principles that belie your reality. Understand that what you get out of life, is what you put into life. Understand that it is your thought that creates the world outside of you, and that spirit is always channeling all that you deserve and all that you are towards you, but that we can block it. Also understand that there's a certain equilibrium that is necessary when we talk about the law of giving and receiving, that it is cyclical, and that giving is no more important than receiving. That there may be, if you're a person that's over giving, then you're too much in your masculine. You need to work on your feminine energy. The feminine energy receives, is receptive, is a receptacle. Also, you need to understand that knowing how to receive and being able to identify the ways in your life where you may not be receiving certain things, whether it's guidance from the Creator, whether it's pearls of wisdom from someone you meet on the street, or a gift or a thank you or a compliment that someone is trying to give you, that there are many ways that you may not be receiving the abundance that's trying to get into your life. So contemplate the cyclical nature of giving and receiving. Contemplate what it means to put out what it is you want to get back. Contemplate the dual nature of the experience that we have and how things are reflected in our outer world based on what is in our inner world. Contemplate the cyclical nature of the reality in which you reside in. I love you all again. Thank you so much, and I will see you again soon.